How are you? Thank you very much for all your likes for my previous videos. It's encouraging me to make many more videos. And here today I am going to speak about national income. In normally in our textbooks we have seen the national income topic as major meaning of national income, concepts of national income, and measurement of national income. But today I am going to make a little effort for us to understand the concepts of national income in a much better way. I am trying to provide a link between methods of calculating national income and the different concepts of national income, which hardly we find in any textbooks. For this particular purpose, I have referred Mankiw macroeconomics textbook, so I wish that you see the entire video. In today's video, we are going to understand what is the meaning of national income. After understanding the meaning of national income, we'll see the circular flow of national income, in which we'll be understanding about the triple identity of national income. After completing the circular flow of national income, the third part we are going to understand is calculation of national income. You may ask me, so what about the concepts of national income? So the concepts of national income, I'll keep it reserved for my next video. Once we understand the different methods of calculating national income, then we can move on to understanding the different concepts of national income. So I hope that you will enjoy today's class. It's filled with all beautiful animations. Just watch the entire video, and I will be waiting for your fruitful comments and feedback or any criticisms. So please stay tuned. We'll move on to measurement of national income. National income. Myself, Professor Aftab Bhai. Friends, today's concept will be understanding it in four parts. The first part will deal with definitions of national income. Here we will be having two definitions. There are many definitions in economics about national income, but we will be studying about two definitions. After definitions, the next part will be circular flow of national income. After understanding about circular flow of national income, we will be entering into calculation of national income or measurement of national income. And at the end, we will be understanding about the difficulties in the measurement of national income. So our today's session is divided into four parts: definition, circular flow, measurement, and difficulties of national income. So let us start with the definitions of national income. Our first definition is of Professor Alfred Marshall. So what Alfred Marshall has to tell about national income? According to Alfred Marshall, the labor and capital of a country acting on its natural resources. So here he is making use of three important elements of an economy. The first one is human capital, the second one is physical capital, and the third one is natural capital. So labor, capital, and natural resources produce annually a certain net aggregate of commodities. So in the second part he is telling that every year they produce net aggregate of commodities. Those commodities may be material and non-material. Material, it refers to all the physical goods which are produced, which can be touched, seen, and felt. Whereas non-material goods refers to all those goods which are intellectual in nature. What do you mean by intellectual goods? For example, if a lyricist writes a song, he earns money out of it. But can you see the song? Can you feel the song? Can you touch the song? No, they are non-material in nature. Similarly, when the software engineers produce any software, can you feel that software? Can you touch that software? No. So these things comes under non-material commodities. Along with that, even services are produced. Services such as services of doctors, services of teachers, services of engineers, services of lawyers, etc. So all these things is the true net annual income or revenue of the country. So friends, to repeat the definition of Alfred Marshall, it is the labor and capital of a country acting on its natural resources produce annually a certain net aggregate of commodities, material and non-material, including services of all kinds is the true net annual income or revenue of the country. So this is the first definition of national income. The next definition is given by National Income Committee of India. So what does the National Income Committee of India has to say about national income? So National Income Committee of India defines national income as the value of commodities and services. So here when we speak about value of commodity and services, it refers to the final market value of goods and services produced in an economy. So produced in an economy, it refers to produce in a particular country which is bifurcated because of geographical boundaries during a given period. So here a given period, it usually refers to 1 year. So national income is calculated yearly. So given period here is every year, counted without duplication. Now counted without duplication, what it is, I'll discuss in detail when I'll be discussing about the difficulties in calculation of national income. So to repeat the definition of National Income Committee of India, the value of goods and services produced in an economy during a given period counted without duplication is called as national income. Now friends, having understood the definitions of national income, where mainly we are speaking about goods and services produced in the country. Now let us move on to our next area, and that is circular flow of national income. So circular flow of national income, when we are dealing, as you know, there are three important agents in the economy. First one is the households, the second one is business firms, and the third one is government. So here we'll be seeing the circular flow of national income with regard to two important agents, the households and the business firms. So who are the households? Households are the resource owners. So here what resources do the households own? They own land, labor, capital and organization. So you can say households are the owners of the factors of production. The four traditionally important factors of production are land, labor, capital and organization. So what do the households do with these resources? They go to the factor market. So factor market refers to the market for factors of production. So here the households take all their resources to the factor market. Why do they take it to the factor market? Because the business firms want to buy these resources. So from households the resources go to the factor market, and from factor market the resources go to the business firms. So this is the first transaction that is taking place, and in this you can see resources have been sold to the business firms. In return, what will the households get? So the households will get in return the factor payments. The payments that are made to the factors of production are called as factor payments. Factor payments in the form of rent, wages, interest and profit. So these are the factor payments which goes to the households. And here friends, we have completed the two-way transaction in the first part of our circular flow of national income. Now the question is, what does the business firms do with the resources they have bought from the factor market? Simple. These resources are used to produce goods which are sold in the product market. So after factor market we are having other market which is product market. So in this product market the business firms produce the goods and bring it. Now who are the buyers of these goods? These goods are bought by the households. The households which have earned the income in the form of rent, interest, wages and profit, they go to the product market to buy these goods. So here the households are incurring expenditure by buying goods and services in the product market. So this is the first transaction in the second part, that is in the product market. So here households go to the product market, they spend the goods and services and in return they buy the goods. So the goods will come to the households and the money will go back to the business firms. So here the circular flow of national income is complete. Now one thing that you need to see here is whatever the business firms are spending in the form of factor payments becomes the incomes of the households, and whatever the households are spending on goods and services becomes the incomes of the business firms, and whatever business firms are spending and whatever households are spending, that becomes the price of the goods. So friends, this in the circular flow, everything that is happening with money as the medium of exchange. So money is the medium of exchange. Before money, the same things would happen but in the form of barter system. So having understood the circular flow, I would like to bring into the next concept in this slide itself. And what is that, the next concept? First one is, we are speaking goods are produced. So the final market value of goods which are produced in the market, okay, when you take into account and calculate that value, you are entering into product method of calculating national income. The next is, when you are speaking about the factor incomes in the form of rent, wages, interest and profit, we are speaking about income method of calculating national income. And lastly friends, when you are speaking about expenditure on goods and services, here we are speaking about expenditure method of calculating goods and services. So this is the reason I brought into picture the concept of circular flow of national income to understand the calculation of national income. And when we are calculating national income, we are not calculating it as different methods, but there are the different ways of calculating the national income which is happening at the same time. So here, if you speak about the three methods of calculating national income, the first one is income method, the second one is product method, and lastly the third one is expenditure method. So these are the three methods that we are going to analyze in our further slides. So when you are speaking about these three methods, we can also call these three methods as our triple identity. What do you mean by triple identity? We can think of the aggregate income of an economy in three ways. In an economy, there are three flows flowing at the same time. Now what are these three flows? These three flows we already understood it. So here the three flows means income, output and expenditure are always equal to each other for a particular period of time, giving rise to what we call triple identity. So here triple identity refers to the income flow, the output flow and the expenditure flow, which are always equal to each other for a particular period of time. So output is equal to income is equal to expenditure. So here output as net national product method, volume of commodities and services produced in a particular period of time. Income as the sum of distributive shares, that is the distribution of national income in the form of aggregate of income payments, that is rent, wages, interest and profits. Land gets rent, labor gets wages, capital gets interest and organization gets profit. This is what is the income payments to the factors of production, which is called as distribution of national income. And lastly, expenditure as net national expenditure. So here when you speak about net national expenditure, it is the sum of expenditure on final consumption of goods and services. Sum of expenditure on final consumption of goods and services by households, consumption expenditure, by business firms, investment expenditure, and by government, which is called as government expenditure. So output, income and expenditure that is national product, distributive shares and national expenditure at any given point of time is always equal to each other, and that is why they are called as triple identity. One point to be highlighted over here, in the previous circular flow of national income we have made it more simple and we have not taken other activities that happen in the economy, because the things become more complicated. If you include savings of the households, then we need to bring into the picture the financial market, the banking system, because savings becomes the leakages, then financial institutions are the medium through which these leakages are filled up, that is by injecting loans in the economy. Similarly, if you bring taxes in the picture, then it becomes three sector model. So taxes become leakages and government spending that money becomes the injunction. And lastly, if you take into picture the exports become leakages, so to fill up that thing we get imports, which is injunction. So the previous circular flow was of two sector model. Similarly, there is three sector model and four sector model. So two sector model without savings and with savings, three sector model with government into the picture, and four sector model with external trade into the picture. Now, having understood the circular flow, let us move ahead to understand the measurement of national income. So when you speak about measurement of national income, in brief we have seen in circular flow. Now national income measurement is also called as national income accounting. So when you speak about national income accounting methods, there are three national income accounting methods used to measure the national income: output method, income method and expenditure method. So output method, income method and expenditure method, briefly I have already introduced to you in the circular flow. Now let us try to understand in detail what are these three methods of calculating national income. First one is output method. So before understanding about output method, let us try to analyze it with the help of an simple example. Let us say output method is also known as inventory method or commodity service method, the other names for output method. So let us say in an economy goods are produced. Which are the goods that are produced in the economy? We are producing agricultural goods. So here I have taken the example of wheat. We are producing cycle, bicycle. We are producing medical goods. For reference I have taken syringes. And we are producing educational sector related goods. For example, I have taken books. So in my example I am limiting myself only to these four goods. So all these goods are produced in particular quantity. So let us assume the quantities are: wheat is produced 500 kg, cycles are produced 1000 units, 5000 units of syringes are produced, and 10,000 units of books are produced. So here we are having the goods and their quantity. Now let us move ahead to understand the price. So what is the price of wheat? On assumption, let us say 1 kg of wheat is 50 rupees, 1 unit of cycle is 5000 rupees, 1 unit of syringe is rupees 10, and 1 book is for rupees 100. We have just assumed over here. The actual prices may differ. This is just for simplifying to understand what is output method. Now comes output method, friends. It is also called as product method. Please remember, it is called as product method. So what is this Q into P? I would like to say it is the product of quantity and price. That is the reason it is also called as product method. So Q into P, here we are referring to, with regard to agriculture commodity wheat, 500 into 50, and that is 25,000 rupees of agricultural commodities are produced. Similarly, 1000 units of cycle into price, that is 5000 rupees. So we are having 50 lakh rupees worth cycles produced, 50,000 rupees worth syringes produced, and lastly, with regard to books, 10,000 books, and each book's price is 100 rupees. So the value of books is 10 lakh rupees. So here, these are the different values of the goods which are produced. Now friends, to know what is the national income, we need to sum up all these values. So national income is summation of the product of quantity and price, and here it is 60 lakh rupees 75,000. So rupees 60 lakh 75,000 is the total value of goods which are produced in the economy. So this is the simplest way of calculating the national income by output method. So friends, in an economy there are many innumerable goods which are produced, right from the things which are needed from head to toe, from hat to shoes, everything is calculated in the production of in the calculated in national income. So under output method, national income is measured by finding out the market value of all final goods produced. See here, I am making use of the word of all final goods produced in a country during a given period of time. So friends, this is what is national income is equal to quantity of A into price of A plus quantity of B into price of B plus quantity of C into price of C, and so on. So in our case, wheat may be product A, cycle may be product B, syringes may be product C, and so on. So this is one way or one method of calculating national income, and that is product method or output method. The next, so one very interesting thing is, when you are speaking about output method, there are two variables that are calculated here. And what are the two variables which are measured in output method? One is gross domestic product, GDP, and the other is gross national product. As I told you in my introductory talk, very certainly I'm trying to show the connection between concepts of national income and methods of calculating national income. So friends, when you speak about output method, in this method we bring into the concept of GDP and GNP. These are our gross concepts, and related to this GDP and GNP, we are having two more variables, and they are NDP and NNP, that is net domestic product and net national product. These are the net concepts of national income. So gross concepts and net concepts. So these two areas, that is gross concepts and net concepts, or GDP, GNP, NDP, NNP, comes under output method. So with this I have completed the first method of calculating national income, and that is output method. So about GDP, GNP, NDP, NNP, we will be discussing in our latest slides or in our next lecture, when we will be speaking about concepts of national income. Now comes our second method of calculating national income, and that is income method. It is also known as input method. So again, to understand income method, we will bring into picture a simple example. And what is that example? As you know, the four factors of production and the reward for the factors of production, which we have seen in the circular flow of national income. The four factors of production are land, and the reward for land is rent. So rent comes because of the services of land. Labor, and the reward for labor is wages. Wages are derived when the labor provides his services. Third factor of production is capital, and because of the use of capital we get interest. And lastly, it is the
organization. An organization for its efforts to bring all together the different factors of production for planning, coordinating, directing, budgeting, and all those things, it gets profit. So factors of production and their rewards. So this rent, wages, interest, and profit are the incomes of the factors of production. So here you can understand these incomes in two ways. One is as personal distribution. Personal in the sense every landowner, every person providing capital, every person who has capital, every person who is an entrepreneur. So this becomes personal distribution. And then comes functional distribution. All the landowners, all the laborers, all the capital owners, and the entire set of different organizations, that becomes functional distribution. So friends, when you're speaking about income method, this method consists in adding together all the incomes that accrue to the factors of production by way of rent, wages, interest, and profits. Now the question comes up is, why income method? So this is the main slide. Because of this slide, we'll understand the difference between output method and income method. So friends, output method is helpful in case of physical goods which have market prices. So in our previous output method, you saw cycles, syringes, books, wheat, all these are physical goods and they are having market price. Now the question is, what about services? So when you speak about services, do services have market price? If you go to a doctor, does a doctor has market price? If you go to the engineer, does the engineer has a market price? No. So services of doctors, lawyers, engineers, etc., these services have no market price. Then how to calculate their incomes? So it is not possible by output method, but it is possible by income method. So they charge fees, and to calculate what fees they have charged, here comes the need of income method to calculate their contribution in national income. You can say it is the indirect way of calculating national income. Why indirect way? Because products in the market are there, services in the market, they don't have MRP, they don't have market price. So whenever market price is not available, there is factor cost valuation done. Factor cost, which is the concept that we speak about when we deal with income method. So although broadly we are under output method, but when you want to calculate the contribution of services, we are extending ourselves into income method. So here national income is rent plus wages plus interest plus profit. So this gives national income classified by distribution part, that is distributive shares, distribution of national income to various factors of production, or you can say divided in the form of rent, wages, interest, and profit. I hope it is clear for you all why income method is brought into the picture. It is because of the service element. So the variables measured under income method are GDP at factor cost. Note friends, here we make an adjustment for indirect taxes and subsidies. As you know, market price consists of indirect taxes and subsidies. Here at GDP at factor cost, we try to make that adjustment. Then comes personal income, and then comes personal disposable income. So these concepts we try to understand in our latest slides or in our next video when we are dealing with concepts of national income. So very briefly, you can say touch and go approach to concepts of national income. So in my next video, when I actually start dealing with concepts of national income, you will understand as to why there are different concepts of national income. So directly, if I have started with concepts of national income, directly if it has started with concepts of national income, it would be very tough for you all to comprehend as to why we are studying this different concepts. But once you have understood the different methods of calculating national income, it becomes very easy to know why this bifurcation or segregation of different concepts are there. Okay, so with this we have completed the second method of calculating national income, and that is income method. Last method is expenditure method, the third method. Friends, this is one of the most popular method with statisticians. So the statisticians normally use this method because the statistical data availability is very handy in expenditure method. So here there are 5 items on which data is collected, and then all these items are added up together to get our gross domestic product, to get our national income. So what are these items? The first one is household consumption expenditure, that is the expenditure made by the households. Try to recollect our circular flow of national income. The first important agent of economy activities, households. So whatever money they spend in the product market for on goods and services comes as household consumption expenditure. Then the second one is the business firms, whatever money they spend in the production process, that is investment expenditure. And here we need to know that it is net capital formation. Investment expenditure refers to net capital formation by our industrial sector. That is also one form of expenditure. And then comes government expenditure. The government spends huge amount of money on health services, education, salaries, infrastructure, roads, irrigation, etc. So this is the third element of our expenditure. First one is by consumers, second one is by producers, third one is by government, the third important economic agent. And the fourth element is our exports. So when foreigners spend their money on our goods, it is our exports for them. Similarly, imports, that is expenditure of our people on goods which are not produced in India. So these are the 5 elements which constitute to be expenditure method. And here friends, when you add up all these 5 elements together, we derive the national income through expenditure method. So national income is equal to consumption expenditure plus investment expenditure plus government expenditure plus the difference between exports and imports. So instead of telling the difference between exports and imports, most of the books say it as net exports. So national income is the combination of household expenditure, investment expenditure and government expenditure and net exports. So if the net exports are positive, we add it. If the net exports are negative, we deduct it. So this is the third method of calculating national income, and that is expenditure method. Now just the summary of the 3 methods. We have understood 3 methods: product method, which is also called as output method, income method and expenditure method. So in product method, the equation is national income is the product of, is a summation of the product of the quantity and price of the respective goods. In income method, it is the aggregation of the rewards which different factors of production get in the form of rent, wages, interest and profit. Under expenditure method, it is the adding up of the different elements of expenditure: household expenditure called as consumption expenditure, plus investment expenditure, that is net capital formation, plus government expenditure and net exports. So this is what we had to understand with regard to measurement of national income. With this slide, I complete the measurement of national income. Now next is difficulties in the calculation of national income. So friends, when you speak about calculation of national income, there are certain issues. In textbooks there are many points, but here I'm going to highlight the most important difficulties faced in the calculation of national income. So first one is problem of double counting. If you remember the definition of National Income Committee of India, what the definition says, the total market value, or you can say the final market value of goods and services produced in an economy during a particular period of time, counted without duplication. That counted without duplication is what is double counting. So what is this problem of double counting? So let us say we are having cotton as the raw material, and this cotton is produced in agricultural sector. So this is one product which is produced in the economy. If you see output method, so this becomes our quantity product A, that is cotton, and this cotton has a price, that is the price of product A. Then there is one more product that is produced, let us say cloth, and one more good is produced, let us say shirt. So if you see through output method, we are having three different outputs: cotton, cloth and shirt. But if you see the picture, raw material, cotton is the raw material, cotton cloth becomes the intermediate good, and the final product is shirt. So shirt includes the cloth as well as the cotton. So if you are taking the value, let me assume over here for sake of simplification, if I say the price of cotton is just for the sake of understanding the example is rupees 10, and the price of cotton is price of cloth is rupees 20, and the price of shirt is rupees 100. So if you say this thing, this is the goods and their price. So if you add up all these things, it becomes 100 plus 20 plus 10, 130. So this will be the national income. But friends, the 100 rupees cotton shirt, it includes the 20 rupees cloth as well as the 10 rupees raw material. So actually we are producing cotton shirt of 100 rupees, but if you take this intermediate good and raw material good also, then you are counting the same commodity 2 times, 3 times. This is what is called as double counting. So in order to avoid the unnecessary inflation of national income, inflated value of national income, we need to take into consideration only final product. So here every time when we are speaking about national income, we speak about market value of, we speak about the market value of final product. This is the reason. This is to avoid the double counting problem. So whenever we are calculating national income, we have to assure ourselves that the goods are not counted 2 times. But here the problem is with regard to input output model. So it's a very problematic thing for the Central Statistical Organization to know which goods are counted multiple times. So this is one major issue in the calculation of national income, that is the problem of double counting. The next point is of imputed value. What is this imputed value? Imputed value is an assumed value given to an item when the actual value is not known or available. Now it becomes problematic to analyze or explain this particular problem. So here I will take an example. Let us say you are staying in a different state, you are working over there, and there you are staying in a house. So this particular house where you are staying is your friend's house, and as it is your friend's house, you are not paying any rent to this house, but you are definitely taking the services of this house. So here the owner of this house, every year he has to pay property tax, and this tax has been paid, but you're not paying the rent. So even though if you're not paying the rent, the government knows that this house is existing. So what will the government do? They will assign an implicit value to this house. taking for example, they may say, so, in this particular area or in this particular region, this particular square feet house has this much rent. So they assign this value implicitly. That is what is called as imputed value. So here, why is it a problem in calculation of national income? It is a problem because we actually don't know what is the exact value of the services of housing services. So here, assigning the implicit value itself is a problem. Many times we may overestimate or underestimate the value of the house. So this is one example through which we are speaking about imputed value. That is the second problem in calculation of national income, that is imputed value or self-consumed goods. Many times the farmers produce the goods, they don't bring it to the market, but they consume themselves. This is also a major problem in calculation of national income. And the third one is, friends, parallel economy. So what is this parallel economy? You can say the black market, the black money that is generated. So there are two important categories in parallel economy. One is which is illegal, and the other is which is legal. But what is the difference? Illegal here, it refers to all the criminal activities. When there are people who kidnap children or people for ransom, there are people who smuggle the goods, and there are people who go on for illegal mining, there are scams. Through all these things they earn the money. So these are not legal activities, they are illegal activities, but the income is earned by kidnapping, by smuggling, by drug dealing, by illegal mining, but this income is not accounted in our national income. Also, there is the second element, that is corruption. Now, corruption has become part and parcel of our life. Bribes and theft by public officers or people who are in power, making undue taking undue advantage of their power by showing explicit favors to their known people, is corruption. So these are illegal means. And what is legal activities? We earn the income but we don't show it to the government, we try to hide it. This is also a black money. So all these activities, through all these activities, either income is generated or income is hidden or taxes evaded. So this becomes the parallel economy. Friends, in a country like India, the black money constitutes to be one of the major problem, because of which our national income is very much less. So if the black money is brought into the picture and brought into the market, then definitely it will enhance the magnitude of our national income. So apart from this, friends, there are many other problems, but they are self-explanatory. Lack of availability of statistical data, self-consumed goods, with regard to the ignorance of the people to give the data, and all those things. So they are self-explanatory. So with all these things, friends, I complete my session on measurement of national income. So to summarize, today we have understood the two definitions of national income, one by Alfred Marshall and the other by National Income Committee of India. Then we understood the three methods of calculation of national income: output method or product method, income method, and expenditure method. And lastly, we understood what are the difficulties in the calculation of national income. So stay tuned for my next video. Till then, take care, bye bye, stay happy, stay healthy, and thank you very much for your patience hearing. Chalo, tata, bye bye.